Hi, my name is Carl, and you're here in our last session, one of the last sessions before our summary. And what are we going to talk about? Previously, we talked about our business model canvas and our key activities and our key resources, and we broke down the resources into named capabilities. Now we're actually going to name them, and we're going to look at the value chain. So, key activities. Again, we're going to use my training business, and I've drawn this up already just to make the flow a little bit easier instead of watching me draw all the time. Okay, so research, that's my key activity. So I research what sort of courses, and then I come up with a course concept. You see how that activity spits out a key value product, right? So if you've ever seen, this is not my construct by any stretch of the imagination. If you've gone through some of the other frameworks, there was a gentleman called Porter, and he put together Porter's value chain, basically breaking down a company into their key activities. So they might do research and development, have some sort of inbound logistics, some sort of product, some sort of sales, and some sort of marketing, and then some sort of ongoing support. So you could literally break down a company into those major components or those key activities. And then each of them, you'll have a key capability, and the capability is what your business can do. So if you put it into a personal, like a person, what can you do? What capabilities must you have to be able to do? They're not how you do things, they're what you're doing. And if you can link those, as I said, to the objectives of your business motivation, then you know which capabilities need to be strengthened to go to a certain vision. Okay, so that's a little bit more in-depth analysis, but let's go back to my company. Research leads to a course concept. I develop that course concept into a named product, and then I present that, all right? So underneath each of those key activities, right, I have key resources. So, or key capabilities. Remember we talked about people, process, information, and tools to get a job done. So in order to come up with a course concept, I have a product research capability, right? I pick different topics that I think are relevant to my mission, okay? So that could include a process where I go and look on the web, for different types of materials. I could interview my classes and find out what is on people's minds, and then develop it into a course that can be presented via one of my channels, online or in the classroom, etc., etc. All right. Now, as I said, we have a customer research capability, and then I have to also manage my partners and my suppliers. Remember we talked about our partners, okay? So that's all part of my research. So which partners am I going to link up with? Those sort of things. Now, once I've got my course concept and I understand who's going to help me and what's the customer that I'm targeting, and I have those capabilities understood, I then develop the product. Now, how does that work? Well, I've got a product development capability, which means I have online video and audio delivery, I've got a classroom, I can do streaming. So I had to put together a whole production capability. So basically, production-wise, nowadays, I can learn how to do all this stuff. One of my early work experience jobs was to be a general hand in a production studio where we did lighting and we did camera work and we did all those sort of things. So that's part of my capability, plus the software that I need. And as I told you, we're going to put together that build of materials. Okay, so I have that as a capability, and that's part of my developing my courses. And then I have named products, right? So who's my customer? How do I manage them? Me as a trainer, I have a capability. I have to manage me. What sort of materials do I need? Those sort of things. So these are key capabilities that I need to develop, right? And then I present. Okay, so I present via those channels But underneath my presentation key activities, I need to do marketing, obviously. I need to do sales, obviously. And then ongoing support capabilities underneath my presentations. So that is key activities and key resources. And don't forget, as I said, you take the key, the objectives from your business motivation model and you connect them to each of these, and then you can measure whether you're actually getting to your mission and your vision. Okay, so that was a quick snapshot of how to break down your value chain and your key activities and your key resources. Now, we need to do a bit of a course summary, okay? And I'm really hoping that this is going to motivate you to start up possibly your own businesses. Now, in theory, there's nothing stopping us from using all of these techniques and to assume that we're starting an enterprise architecture team in our company, right? And if we go back to the architecture development method underneath TOGAF, in the preliminary phase of the setting up your enterprise architecture development method is building a team. Now, what products and services are you going to use when you build your team? What key resources do you need? What is it going to cost you? Who are your sponsors? Who are your stakeholders? All those sort of things you can break down. And once you have this mapped, you become defined. And then once it comes to making decisions, it's easy to make decisions. And then you start to get to your mission as an enterprise architecture team, solution architecture team, or what have you. So let me stop it there, and then we'll go into conclusion and we'll do a review.